Okay, remember now, the more teeth you show, the happier you are. Oh, hi everybody. I have an idea. Let's talk about photography. I'm Sam Lenz, and you can trust me. Quite often I'm asked the question on how I specifically take pictures of my models. People want to improve and get better at their own photos. My answer is always the same. Check out Miniac's videos on the topic, alright? Lesson over, so we'll catch you next time. Thank you for the support on Patreon, and as always, feel free to leave comments below. Moving on though, I do have some additional information that I can lend to you that will come from the more physical and practical side of things. There's a lot that can be improved in your photos just from proper setup and proper equipment. Let's talk about it. First of all, equipment. You're going to need something to use for a backdrop. I buy construction paper down at the grocery store. You could also use fabric, a black curtain being a popular choice. Lovely. And of course, there are no limits. You could go as wide as painting up your own scenery, placing that on a table, making a diorama. But generally speaking, you're going to want something to hold up your backdrop. You could use a box, a wall, or I got this little, we'll call it a prop. It's just kind of a scaled down version of most photo backdrops. I cannot remember where I got this, so maybe someone in the comments will know. At any rate, it's a pretty simple thing to create a half pipe out of a piece of paper or gently be draping your curtains. With your backdrop in place, you're going to need to illuminate your miniatures. For my overhead lamp, I'm using a Lucent light from Game Envy. I'll have a discount code listed. And something else I bought on Amazon. I don't have a code for that, so forget about it. I have that down low lamp. It's just in case. Sometimes models have a lot of overhang. You need to chase the shadows away. I like the Lucent light because it rotates slightly and I can put the light where it needs to be. It's difficult when you're blasting your miniatures with light to not have any shadows. You're also going to need a tripod. It's such a simple thing, but man, it makes a difference. Setting a timer on your camera, taking your hands away while a photo is snapped, that alone is very useful. You can get a very cheap, affordable tripod for either your phone, or you can go the more expensive route and get something for the fancy cam. Speaking of the fancy cam, I am using a Lumix G87. That's about it. I am using very basic settings on it. I just got something that is nice and capable and can take, photos with a high density. Like I said, I'm not the tech guy. Most phones can probably compete with this these days, and there's nothing wrong with using your phone. I find I get a lot more control with the formal tool, being the camera, of course, but if you're using your phone, just make sure to turn the dial down a little bit. Turn that brightness down so it's not too overexposed. Now, position. This is key. Let's talk about the setup. You can see I'm going to bend the one lamp down overhead, the other lamp running across the floorboards, as we'll call it. And the important part is to make sure that there is a great distance between the foreground and the background, because the lens of the camera works just like your eye. If you hold your hand up in front of your face, your hand is very in focus and the backdrop is blurry. So think about the lens and the camera in the same way, especially if you're using an autofocus feature on your phone. It's fine to use the autofocus feature on your camera. Honestly, I'd recommend it most of the time. I know how to do photo stacking, etc., but I find the autofocus can just kind of do it for me if I'm patient and just click around a few times till I have a nice looking situation. Whether you use a light or dark backdrop, that's up to you. The jury is out on that one. Who knows which is better? I think it's more about creating a mood and the atmosphere for the model, and whatever is least distracting. We're trying to just present these models as they appear in real life, so whatever is the most, whatever looks the best. Some people prefer the darkness. Now, with our picture taken, we're going to go in and do a little bit of balancing. Consider that since we have blasted our subject with light, it is now overexposed, but we want to chase away those shadows, right? So I'll drop it into, I use Photoshop, but any editing program can give you this. I'm just going to increase the brightness and contrast by 8 to 10 points, and I'll also increase the saturation by as many points. It just brings it back to life a little bit. It's helpful to have the model in your hand. You want it to look exactly as it looks in real life. That is the whole point of this. And you may want to hit maybe try the auto sharpen. I don't know. I don't want to get into the fine details of balancing out a photo. Just a few knocks around like that should get you going. Mainly this is about the setup. So I hope that this has helped inform you. Like just having that physically set up in the proper way can kind of do a favor for the lens on your camera and yeah, just create the ideal photo situation. It's okay to have a light box, I suppose. I've broken out of it. I've watched the Miniac videos again. Alternatively, you could have 2 lamps on the sides of the tables, creating some pillars of light. But yeah, looking through the eye of the camera and seeing what you see, that is how you're going to find your most favorable results. So I hope that this helped inform you and gave you a little bit of confidence the next time you go out and capture an image of something you've spent hours on, and then you kind of cover your eyes and just get the photos out of the way in 5 minutes and pray for death. Pray to God. So say your prayers and leave your comments down below. I'm always happy to hear from you. Feel free to ask questions. It facilitates more learning, and I appreciate the support. So until we meet again, my friends, remain unchained. Now, with our picture taken, we're going to go